Welcome into ESPN's NBA Weekly Power Rankings. I'm Toni Collins, joined by the one and only Marc Stein. Marc, we're already about halfway to the 20-game mark. We saw the Jazz finally get their first win. We saw the Pacers get their first loss of the season. Now, it's still early, but we're kind of getting a good idea where teams stand. Is it true that we might have a new number one this week?
Yeah, had to do it. As you said, the Pacers finally took their first loss, and normally one loss isn't enough to knock a team off the top perch, but San Antonio has been so good along the way, pretty much matching Indiana stride for stride, that with the Spurs at 9-1 also, with the Spurs having won 7 games in a row, San Antonio's only loss is to Portland, which is the second hottest team in the league at this point. Also, and I'm even admitting here that maybe I'm grading the Pacers on too hard of a curve, but for the Pacers to get beat up pretty badly in Chicago on Saturday night, yes, it was the second game of a back-to-back, but when they are up against the hated Bulls, their biggest rivals, I kind of expected them to push through and not even feel fatigue. So Indiana losing pretty heavily on Saturday night. San Antonio, as hot as they are, decided it was time to switch things up, and the Spurs take the top spot and bump Indy down to number 2.
Now, we've talked a lot about Phoenix, we've talked a lot about Philly, but what's a team in the top 10 that surprised you this week?
Yeah, it's Portland for sure. Nobody saw them being this good this soon. They're up to number 7 this week. As mentioned, they've inflicted San Antonio's only loss. 6-game winning streak, 4 wins in a row on the road. Now, a lot of people thought that Portland would be better because they strengthened their bench significantly in the offseason. We know about the core of LaMarcus Aldridge, Damian Lillard, and Nick Batum. They're getting it. They're already showing that they are deeper, that they have some contributors beyond their main 3, and to be able to go out on the road and win a few games. Doesn't even matter what the opposition level is. This is a great start for Portland, and you need it because in the West, as we've talked about before, I still think that at the top of the conferences, the East is stronger than the West if we're going to look at the top 2, 3, 4 teams. But the West still has the overwhelming depth. You see it in the head-to-head records between the conferences. The West are winning, almost every matchup, interconference matchup at this point. So for Portland to get up to a good start, that's huge for them. If they have serious playoff aspirations, getting the 6th, 7th, 8th spot in the West is going to be tough this year. You're going to have to get probably 46, 47, 48 wins. So a good start is very valuable for Portland.
Now, to the surprise of many, both New York teams aren't doing as well as they were planning to. Where do you have them in your ranking this week?
Yeah, the Knicks are 25, but honestly, that's where they were last week. They're a mess right now. No Tyson Chandler. Obviously, they can't win a game at home. A lot of pressure being applied now to Mike Woodson. A lot of unhappiness. This is it's never good when your star player comes out and says, it looks like we're not even trying, which is what we heard from Carmelo Anthony over the weekend. So it's just a really negative atmosphere right now. And without Tyson Chandler, the reality is the Knicks are going to be so vulnerable defensively without him. It's going to be tough for them to win. So, they've been in that bottom third already, even before this week. Brooklyn now, Brooklyn's a team that I was very high on coming into the season because I just thought the additions of Garnett and Pierce were going to bring just a whole different level of intensity to that team, really change the culture of the team. But we just haven't seen it. The Nets have been flat. The Nets also have a lot of injuries. They have as many ankle injuries right now as they have wins. So Brooklyn, I dropped them to 15 last Monday. I had to take them all the way down to number 21 this week. They finally got a good road win in Phoenix, but they also have to pick things up in a big, big way.
Good stuff as always, Marc. There you have it. Marc Stein's ESPN Weekly NBA Power Rankings. You can catch the Power Rankings every Monday at noon right here on ESPN.com. I'm Toni Collins. See you next time.